Hey guys, Big John here. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska, and I mainly talk about carnivore topics and weight loss. Today's video or live stream, for instance, I'm just trying to figure out a few things. Now, I've been having some issues, and I'll probably have to repeat this several times as people start coming in and out of the room. But I've been trying to communicate better with the carb addicted people that, let's say, I might live with or be associated with. It's been a hard thing to deal with because I can see the damage that's happening, because sometimes you can just watch somebody and what their choice is and what they eat, and all of a sudden they're just automatically zoned out and they're falling asleep, like just bang, they're falling asleep in their bedroom, and they're it's just like, wow. And you know why it's happening. You're trying to talk about it more and more. You're trying to figure out what in the world you can do without sounding like a badger, because it doesn't matter what type of health you're in or what type of journey you're on. We all need to communicate better with other and try to get these things across to one another. Like, hey, if you just change up a couple of things like this or that. But as a father, like if I'm talking to one of my kids, it's very difficult to sound like I'm not badgering my son, and I don't want to badger him. I don't want him to be, that ogre in the room that he's just like, oh, here comes dad. I don't want to talk to him. And I can see, what happens with the rest of the family too, because they just don't care anymore. They don't have a diagnosis. And this is a lot of what I tell people is, if you don't have a diagnosis, it's extremely hard to just all of a sudden figure out your situation, trying to lose weight or trying to get, healthier by exercising and doing stuff like that. And I have been starting to exercise a whole lot more. And hello, Amber. I appreciate you jumping in the room. Today, the main topic is I'm just trying to figure out how to better communicate with people, because it's so frustrating. And that's my main goal, is to try to help people that need help. I need help too sometimes. That's why the community is incredibly important. So far, the carnivore community has been a blessing, because it's helped me figure out myself, and it's helped a lot of other people figure out their own personal issues. And I had another question that I was trying to email Dr. Berg the other day, because it was something that I experienced in the past. Now, it is a little bit personal, but that's the whole fun of, trying to figure out these things as a group, as a whole on the internet. Now, when I was doing my transition to 100% carnivore, and I am just about there. I'm not completely 100%, so I'm probably closer to 97, 98% meats and fats now. Once in a while, I might pop in something, ridiculous. But the problem I had was I had a severe fruit craving. Now I'm eating, at that time I was eating 90% carnivore type eating. But then all of a sudden I just zoom in on the fruit basket. I'd want fruit. I'd want strawberries. I'd want apples. Now, there's comes the underlying problem. When I did that, everything before the fruit was working normal in my body. Now, after I started, and I'm a binge eater too. So when I get into the fruit, I'm eating a lot of fruit, by the way. So it would have been a lot of fruit. Now, some people have implemented fruit with pretty good success in their carnivore diet. It did not work out as well for me. It automatically shut my weight loss off. If anything, I started gaining weight. But that wasn't the problem. The problem I was having, I don't know if it was a severe problem or not. And this is something I did speak to my doctor about. So I have a little bit of education and insight on this. But I still haven't been able to get a solid, rock solid answer to what I was experiencing in the bathroom. Now, I would go to the bathroom the next day after eating a lot of fruits, and I would have pretty pale or clay-like looking poop. Now, if you have done any research on that, that could be a whole bunch of things, and this is why I was concerned about it right away. So I immediately got a hold of some friends. My friends are like, dude, you might have a serious problem. Talk to your doctor. That's what I did. I went and talked to my doctor immediately. I got the best answers I could, which were pretty close to the same answers I could generate for myself on Google search or in basic YouTube searches. And I did research Dr. Berg. He talked about, the whole possibility of pale or clay-like looking stool. But my doctor said, if this goes away just stop eating fruits for a little bit. You're doing really well on your carnivore diet. Just stop eating the fruits. If this doesn't go away in 2 to 3 days, he said 3 days at maximum, then give us a call, come back in. We'll definitely get you better checked out. So that's what I did. I just stopped eating the fruits for a little while. And we're not talking about currently. We're talking about this happened about a month ago. So I went through the process and I was like, okay. And then on the third day, sometimes on the second day, because I was still having nonstop fruit cravings at that time, it was extremely hard to get over the fruit cravings, almost like it was to get over the sugary sweets and snacks I used to be addicted to beforehand. So I just got over that. And then all of a sudden my stools were normal again. I mean, they were just normal. Everything was coming out healthy, no loose stools, nothing crazy. And I just couldn't figure it out. And so recently I was just trying to ask, some doctors like, hey, why does this only happen when I eat fruit or vegetables? And this is a problem that I've had pretty much my entire life. And I just never, 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2. So I wanted to try to get some more expert opinion on that. And I don't expect that I'm going to get it all here today, but I just wanted to put it out there on the stage because I know there's a lot of other people that are trying to do carnivore. They're transitioning into a carnivore type lifestyle and they're having similar cravings, because they're just trying to transition too fast, which is what I was trying to do. I was trying to transition into a carnivore diet extremely fast, and it wasn't necessarily working out in my best interest. I should have just tried a little bit here and there and then gradually worked into it. And over time, I would get to be more strict and more 100% just meats and fats. And that's all I really care about these days is just meats and fats. I'm currently cooking chicken wings over my shoulder here. My wife broke them out last night. She wanted chicken wings today. So I got them all thawed out and processed and they're in the oven right now. So we'll have to skirt on over there and get those out and take some temperatures here in a little bit. But when are we gonna, start locking down the whole idea that sugar is everything? You got to have a lot of sugar in your diet, because as I was trying to explain to my son the best I can, I was like, when do you take a break from the sugar? When do you take a break from your carbs? I said, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is go to Starbucks and you get a sugary freaking drink or frap or mocha or chino or whatever you want to call it. And then your next thing is a snack from possibly a vending machine or something like that. There's sugar, there's some more carbs. And then you eat an unhealthy lunch with a lot more sugars, a lot more carbs. You got the French fries, you got the milkshake from McDonald's from across the street. You got the soda from the soda machine, high fructose corn syrup. It's just never ending. And then on top of that, every single holiday is surrounded by sugar. We just had Easter. And I pray for everybody. I did not go out with family on Easter Sunday because I had a hard time wrapping my mind around I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Because, knowing what I know now, knowing how much damage I've done to myself over the years because of one excuse after another, one holiday, the next holiday, here's a birthday party. Here's my birthday party. That's coming up this month too. I'm going to be 50 years old. I don't want a cake. I don't want anything sweet. I'd be happier with just a steak. I'm just over it all. I'm over all the sugary nonsense, every holiday, every anniversary, everything we have. And I do believe that these things should be what they are. They should be a holiday, should be a celebration. They should be, giving thanks or appreciating Jesus or appreciating God or appreciating, the real meaning of Christmas. And yeah, we got my alarm popping off here. Hi, Jill. I appreciate you dropping in. Let's see. Absolute beats to get rid of. Let's see. Abby, we love a short king. Let's see. It is hard to keep your mouth shut when we're working. Loved ones poisoning themselves. It's extremely hard. And I have chicken wings in the oven. I'm gonna have to pop them out here and get a temperature on them. But yeah, that's not what the video is about. It just happens to be I'm doing two things at one time. So we're gonna get these out, get a quick temperature on it, see if I need to put them back in the oven today. But yeah, ultimately I'm just struggling with the whole communication thing. I want to talk to my family a little bit better. I don't want to, sound like a badger all the time, because it's so hard to get them to understand, what they're doing to themselves right now is going to turn into something when they get to be my age, because it's horrible. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. I got to get a temperature on these chicken wings. Let's see what we got here. This is my new handy dandy little thermometer that I got. I'm looking for a temp of close to about 165. These look like I'm probably going to have to put them back in. And I got 2 pans here. I got one here, one over there. But yeah, back to the whole gray stool thing. That was only happening when I was eating fruit. So as soon as I got off the fruit and I got back into, eating strict carnivore again, it completely went away. But it was just baffling to me that it was only with fruits or vegetables. Now, I've always had a problem my entire life with digesting fruits, digesting vegetables. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. And so far, these temperatures are a little bit cold. That one's not too bad. That one's about, oh, okay. That one's climbing up. So it looks like these wings got to go back in for just a little bit longer to be considered done. So we're going to pop these back in and we're going to get right back onto the conversation I'm trying to have about my inability to communicate with my own family members at times, or anybody else, because I get asked questions all the time about, hey man, how you doing it? How you losing all the weight? And I try to explain it to people and they look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, dude, that's nuts. How do you just eat meat all the time? Isn't that, we're going to put these in for another 10 minutes. There we go. And then I'll come back and we'll fart around with these. But the one problem I have with this particular type thermometer is I have to constantly turn it on and off. So the first few days that I had this thing, I set it down on the counter and I completely forgot that it was turned on. So it was on for like a couple of days. So anyways, yeah, getting back to where we were, I don't know. After this gets uploaded, I'll probably have more time to think about it. And, people can actually respond to me a little bit better if they want to come back. You can always send me an email or something with what your thoughts are on how to better communicate to the, seriously carb and sugar addicted. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I was like, we ban all these crazy drugs. We ban cocaine. We ban, marijuana for I don't know how many years. Now that's coming in. But we're not focused on what's really tearing us down. And it's not those drugs. It's the friggin' sugar and the carbs. They create an addictive type response. And in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you guys can feel however you want, but I think sugar and high fructose corn syrup and super sweeteners and stuff like that are far more dangerous than illicit drugs now. Because even the people that are highly addicted to illicit drugs, they're still addicted to carbs and highly processed foods, and they don't know the difference. They can't tell one way or the other, if what they're eating is good for them. Maybe because they're too stoned out of their mind. But I don't know. I'm just kind of at a loss. It's like, what do we do? How do we talk to people? How do we communicate a little bit better? Somebody commented there, RV, I believe, said the community. Absolutely. I mean, the community is helpful, but you can't just grab somebody by the throat and just rip them into a community and be like, hey, I think you need to join this community and check it out. These people, they're helping, they're loving, they really seem to care about one another. There's really hasn't been a whole lot of crickets in the room when I go out and I start asking personal questions to any of these channels. I just did the other day. I got some phone numbers, I got some emails, I reach out, I get some responses pretty quickly. And that's super helpful, even if it's, I don't know, I can't help you. That's better than nothing, than silence. So even a I know nothing response is still a helpful response, because at least, I put it out there, I put it on the stage, like, hey, can you help me answer this or try to figure this out? If you know something or you know how to communicate with somebody a little bit better than I can, just let me know, how it works. Let's see, Kat says hi. I appreciate you there, Kat. Uh, let's see. You should follow what Judge Holden said in Blood Meridian. World makes sense when you force it to. Yeah, but that's the problem is you can't just force your kids. You can't force your wife um, to doing what you're doing, because what's going on with me isn't necessarily going on with them yet. They didn't get up to 400 and something pounds. But the whole point of me actually getting out on the internet, trying to share my journey, trying to share my experiences with weight loss, carnivore and stuff like that, is to create a video diary. You know, when my family or anybody I know that I care about, you know, gets to a point in their journey or their life journey where everything's just completely upside down and out of control, I want to be able to, you know, say, hey, you know, check out these videos when I first started losing weight. You know, I was a mess. I couldn't hardly talk. I couldn't hardly make a decent video. Those videos probably only got like 200 to 300 views because, yeah, I sucked. I couldn't get any attention. I couldn't get anywhere. And at that point, I wasn't really trying. I was just running out of ideas for stuff to try to do on YouTube, because whenever you start doing stuff like YouTube, you struggle. And even when you become a little bit more successful and start getting paid, the struggle doesn't go away. It just elevates. It just, now you have to be more connected than ever with your audience. You have to do community posts. You have to be on several different media platforms. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. And it is work because people used to laugh at me. They're like, oh, he's going to start creating videos. This should be a blast. You know, they might watch a couple videos and they'd be like, your videos stink. Yeah, they do. When you get started, they absolutely do stink. I mean, if you could just happen to be that, you know, that one unicorn that can get out here and automatically you're getting likes and you're getting views and everything's just amazing, bravo for you, because that's rare. That's really rare. And then once you get a following, you got to follow up with everything. You got to keep producing content, keep talking to people, you know, keep responding, you know, because that's what people want. They just don't want to aimlessly watch nonsense. I live in Anchorage, Alaska, Frank. It snowed here a little bit today, and we were hoping that it wasn't going to snow anymore. So I will be going out to plow some snow tonight at the hospital at about 8 o'clock tonight. So at some point I will have to lay down. Hell yeah, dude, I lost 40 pounds last July. Just kept it off. And that was someone but Todd. Hey, all right on. You lost some weight. That's amazing. Let's see what else we got going on here. The man who sells himself the task of singling out the thread of order from the tapestry. I'm not sure what all that is. That's a lot of text. It's hard for me to read. Amber says people have to find their own way to eat properly. You can't force them. I have a diabetic mother who has amputations and still eats carb. Oh, that's heartbreaking, Amber. That makes me really sad. We're going to change the setting up here. Where is it? No. There we go. We're going to do this, and we're going to promote Amber to a moderator. That way, if you see any nonsense in there, you can just click on whoever's, you know, spamming the page at the time if you're going to stick around. And if not, when you come back for the next live stream that I do, you can always have the ability to take certain people out of the stream if they're just spamming and making nonsense type comments in the stream. But I appreciate you, by the way. Hello, big man. Carnivore Journey, I appreciate you showing up in there. For comparison, I was 308 and now I'm down to 268. That's amazing. So right now, someone but Todd, I'm right around that range. So I've been stuck for about a period of a month. I don't do a lot of exercise. I don't get out and do a lot of walking because it costs money to even drive across town, to even go to the mall. And then when I'm at the mall, I'm tempted to want to spend money because it's the mall. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. So it's just hard this time of year for me because I'm a truck driver. There's not a lot going on here in Alaska. So I mainly haul snow. We got a little bit of snow, so just plowing it's going to pay me a little bit. But man, we're in a hard way. I've been applying for a lot of jobs. And the funny thing is I've found that's with all of this crazy weight loss I've had. So I've lost about 125 to 135 pounds in the last 46 weeks. Now, before that, 46 weeks wasn't that long ago. So, and I started my carnivore journey, I believe in September. And that was when I was struggling. I was trying to figure out my own routine, because just going straight to meats and fats was really, really tough. It was really hard. There was a lot of hurdles. There was a lot of transitions. There was a lot of back and forth, trying to get to 100% carnivore, which is pretty much where I'm at now. So I'm just right underneath being 100%. Yeah, that is great. Thank you. But before I started losing the weight, I was extremely hormonal. I was fat. My sleep apnea was taking over. I was making a lot of bad choices because I was so addicted to sugar and carbs. And I did look at a couple previous videos that my wife took of me, and I was just, all I was worried about was sugar. Like literally, she was getting ready to go pick up my son that was doing something to a building that was attached to a Krispy Kreme donut shop. And I was like, oh yeah, they got cream filled donuts. And I was like all googly eyed. Now, when I look back at it, I was like, wow, that's freaking scary looking at myself. And since I started losing the weight, my sleep apnea has improved. The only thing I got going for me right now is what's going on here at YouTube, and it doesn't pay the bills, by the way. I mean, I get paid. I get paid like a cup of coffee a day. That's literally what I see as far as revenue, and that all comes from ad revenue and stuff like that. So there's like maybe $2 bump every day. I look at my analytics, and it's not. I mean, it's better than nothing, and it does help pay for some things, but it's not anything I can live on because I'm just not that fantastic at this stuff. I just try to share my adventure with people and try to help people be healthier, as we go. But I was so screwed up, for the last 3-4 years. Like even before the pandemic, I was having problems with my health, and everything was gradually going downhill. So I was in and out of jobs. My work history looks like crap. I mean, it's embarrassing to have to type it all up. And now everything, for some reason, is all, you can't just walk into a place and apply for a job. What happened? I mean, you walk in there and they're like, oh, well, you need to go to Indeed, or you need to go to this website. What? I mean, I'm from the old school. I walk in, I introduce myself and say, hey, my name's John, and I've been driving trucks for over 2 decades. That normally just start selling it. But if I have to just throw my name in a pile of other people's just randomness, it's hard for me to stand out, and I'm not very good at making resumes or cover letters and stuff like that. But all right, I got to get back over here, get the temperature on these chicken wings real quick. Hopefully they're not burnt because I did leave them in there for a little bit longer. All right. I'm not trying to burn down the house today. All right, let's get these out and see what's going on. All right. I've been lucky when doing these on video, messing around with chicken wings and stuff like that on video. I've been really lucky considering I haven't really dropped any. Now can't remember what it was. I choked on something on camera once. That was just fabulous. All right, we're getting temperatures climbing. We're looking at about 143 right now. So this particular thermometer is a little bit slow, but it seems to be working pretty good. Now these are cooked enough. Once I get them up to 154 degrees, that's enough to actually, if I wanted to, I could put them in Tupperware right now, and then I could cook these again in the air fryer a little bit later for the family. All right, so we're getting closer to 160, 157 is what I'm at right now for that one. Get out of there. I couldn't imagine doing this at a restaurant, having people, just jamming in there. Now this little tiny wing, it's one of the actual wing parts. This one's cooked up to temperature, real nice. All right, we're looking at about 163. That's holding there. Try this other pan. See what we get. Choose one in the middle. All right, let's see what we can get out of this one. Now this one was on this rack here was on the top, so I might have to just rotate these around. 162, we're looking pretty good there. I mean, that's pretty close to calling done, because it's still going to cook a little bit longer. So that definitely looks done. Oh, that one there's definitely done. So we're going to leave this rack out. We're going to take the other rack and we're going to put it back in the oven for a little bit. up on the top rack, and we're just gonna let that one cook for another five minutes or so, and then I think everything will be safe. Then I can just store it all in a Tupperware. And I will probably eat some of these myself. Like I said, I do have to go to bed in a little while. All right, 5 minutes sounds good. There you go. Okay. Yeah, this isn't about chicken wings today. I know I've done chicken wings before, and that's not the whole point of what we're here for today. You know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, how to communicate with people that are, you know, they don't want to, they're wrecking it. You can see it. You can visibly see that they're wrecking it every single day. And it's not just a, you know, wrecking it for one meal a day. It's like, it's just a progressive, you're screwing it up every single moment you get a chance to. And that's crazy. Let's see, Amber. Hi, Cordella. Yes, Cordella. Hello. Good afternoon from Albany, New York. Hello from Anchorage, Alaska. It's good to see you in the room today. I am making chicken wings for Third World Wonder, but that's not what our main focus is. Now, I've done chicken wings before on a live stream. They were kind of fun to do. These were raw just a little while ago, and I seasoned them. So both pans are seasoned completely differently, and I tried doing a seasoning like in a Ziploc bag and throwing the wings in there and shaking them up to see how that turns out. I haven't tried it like that yet. Normally I just place the wings out on a rack and I just sprinkle my seasonings all the way across, and then I cook them in the oven for, you know, somewhat pretty close to an hour and 10 minutes is what I cook them to until they get up to 165 degrees internally. And then I might, you know, because it's early in the day here right now, so it's a little bit after 11:30, so it's about 11:35 here in Alaska. So, you know, dinner time's not for quite a few more hours. I can let these cool down, put them in a Tupperware. That way, when dinner time comes, the wife can pop them in the air fryer for 10 or 12 minutes, and then boom, they got nice crispy chicken wings. And I've done this 2 times now. This will be the 3rd attempt, and they've came out amazing every single time I've tried them. I just got diagnosed with sleep apnea at age 23 and gout. Ooh. Now, is this sleep apnea? Do you think it's weight related? I mean, is it because you gained, you know, a lot of weight and got the, you know, situational sleep apnea where you're sleeping in bed and your neck just kind of kinks your neck? Because, you know, that a lot of my sleep apnea has been reversed just through weight loss. Hey there, Carnivore with Nadine. I appreciate you showing up. And we're gonna change a couple settings here for Nadine as well. We're going to add her as a moderator because she pops in frequently. And I do appreciate you guys that come back and, you know, just want to stop in and say hello, because like I said, I've been struggling trying to figure out how to communicate with people. We also discussed what was going on previously in my weight loss journey when I was transitioning to carnivore, and my poop was turning a white, almost clay-like grayish pale color. Now, typically that means you're not absorbing nutrients for some reason. You know, I've always had problems with fruits and vegetables all my life. Whenever I eat fruit, I have digestive issues, but it was near impossible to nail that down until I started the carnivore diet, you know, where I'm just basically eliminating everything. I'm doing like these crazy long 5-day water fasts, which is a total elimination. I'm just drinking water and taking electrolytes and nutrients, and that's it. And then, so that helped me try to figure this out as well. But yeah, fruits, man. I never thought fruits would create such a situation. And it's just constant how I'm finding out all these things, like even my neuropathy. Now, this neuropathy that I've had going on my feet, I've been thinking back years. I mean, the numbness in my toes and the balls of my foot, this stuff has been going back for years. It's like, holy cow. You know, I never even realized it went back that far. I mean, we're talking like maybe 15 years where it first started, you know, my feet started feeling funny. I didn't even know what neuropathy was. I didn't know anything about it. And all this stuff comes full circle after we start just taking out all the crap. You know, you get rid of the sugars, get rid of the carbs, and it's just legalized cocaine, in my opinion. And they're just pushing it down our throats at every turn. I mean, 60% of the daily intake of calories in the United States is overly processed food. Now, that's the stuff that's in the higher categories of processed food. Now, anytime you do anything with food, you add ingredients, you do certain things to it before you present it. That's a process. But we're talking about, like, you got these little scientists that are sitting in these rooms, and I've worked in some of these factories over the years. I worked for Pillsbury, I worked for Safeway. We were making Girl Scout cookies at that time. Now, I wasn't in charge of making the cookies. I was actually a janitor in the room. That guy that was taking care of some of that stuff. Now, I got to get these wings out and make sure they're up to temp. Well, I'm looking forward to eating some of these at some point. All right, let's see what we got going on here. There we go. I didn't burn myself. I didn't drop them either. Tip you guys down so you can see a little bit of what's going on. Sorry the lighting's horrible. I don't have any fancy lights going on today. But yeah, I just wanted to get a poke in here and see what's going on. All right. Turn this around so you guys can actually have something to look at besides the yummy chicken wings that we're getting ready to possibly eat a few of these just to see how they are. All right, we're looking good there. All right. Now, the thing I like about this is I can set an alarm on it to reach a base temperature. So I have it set up to go off at 155. And because that's mainly because I like to cook a lot of hamburger patties in here. So if I can, probe the hamburger patty, it hits 155. That means I can shut the heat off to the pan. Oh, we are golden there. Yeah, perfect. All right, these are gonna need to rest for a little while before I mess with them. I learned my lesson the hard way. One time when I was actually, trying to eat some of these, and they're just too hot right off the bat. So, but I will dish up a few of these. I like the drummies. I don't know about you guys. I really like the drummies. They're my favorite. Now I got two different things going on here. So this pan over here was like a shake and bake type deal where I just put everything in a Ziploc bag and I shook it up a little bit. And this pan here was just, I coated everything over the top. And I'm probably gonna want one more of those. That one there looks amazing. Okay, so this is what I got here. And we're gonna get into these here real soon. Because I'm kind of hungry. I'm not so hungry that I just have to eat right now. So I'm not gonna waste the time and burn myself. I need to get some water. I haven't been drinking enough water lately, and I think that's part of the problem with some of my weight loss. It's because I'm not on a steady schedule to where I need to go to work at a certain time every day. I was knocking it out of the ballpark, as far as weight loss goes, when I was on a steady schedule. I'm going to work at the same time every day or within an hour or two, because as a truck driver, you start at different times of day. But it was totally different losing weight that way compared to I'm kind of stuck at the house. I don't do a whole lot here while I'm stuck at the house. So I'm not like getting out, exercising, jumping up and down the truck every single day. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And see what we got going on in the comments here. Someone said they gained weight. All right, let's see. That was somebody but Todd. I grew up in California with a cheap and easy access to fruits and veggies, then moved to Minnesota and got complete freedom with what I could eat, which just made me F over my diet over a few years. It's hard. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to live in California. I did not like California when I was there. Now, if you could just take away all the rules and the split speed limits for big trucks, I might like it a little bit more. Let's all give this a thumbs up. Yeah, I appreciate anybody that likes the stream. It does, help me out quite a bit. We got 43 people in the stream. That's better than what I usually have. So, but I'm okay with whoever jumps in or whoever wants to say what. But like I said, the main goal of trying to is I'm just trying to brainstorm different ways to hopefully communicate with the family, or other loved ones, how to get my point across, because a lot of my family, we have a lot of kids. So it's just never ending. It's just never ending birthday parties. It's never ending holidays. It's never ending sugary snacks. It's like, how do we change that? I grew up with that too. And I know a lot of you did out there, and you're suffering the same battle I'm suffering from now, especially if you're a carnivore and you're trying to live in the same household with other people that aren't carnivore. I mean, the temptation some days are hard because some of the foods we wind up, especially during the transition process, there was a period of almost mourning, like, "Ugh, I can't have that anymore." It was almost hurt feelings, and I'm struggling to get through that. I mean, that's gone by the wayside now. I see a lot of stuff I used to eat, and I'm just like, oh man, that stuff hurts me. If I eat that now, it hurts me, and I can recognize the fact that these foods are hurting me. And just eating meats and fats and stuff like that, these aren't too hot right now. We're gonna bite this, see how it is. Okay. So this is just a regular seasoned one that I didn't put in a bag and just shake the crap out of it. Now these ones here are the ones I put like garlic, a little bit of barbecue seasoning, onion powder. It might be over seasoned. I don't know yet. Chicken feather. Gonna run that off in the garbage. See you later. I don't mind eating chicken feathers. I just don't want to eat them and know that they're there. We'll see how this one tastes, if I over season these or not. Let's try this one here. Yeah, that one looks really good. Look at the seasoning on that. That is pretty good looking chicken wing there. Okay. I'm not upset with that. It's definitely got a lot more seasoning on it. It's stuck to the wing compared to the other ones. Okay. Not bad. I'm okay with that. I'm really surprised my cats haven't jumped up here on the table because I got meat. They go feral lately when they see fresh meat out here. All right. Okay. But anyway, yeah, Reaper, if you come on over, I'll open the front door and we can share some of these, no problem. Robin Heron, you are making me hungry. Well, I'm sorry. The whole point of the video wasn't to make anybody hungry. I just happened to be cooking chicken wings. The wife's out doing Instacart right now, so that just gave me a minute to hit record and just see what happens. But yeah, I'm just mainly trying to figure out, trying to get through to my kids, hey, what you're doing, it's nice to do once in a while, but you keep doing it over and over and over again throughout the day. And then it turns into a week of overdoing the sugars and overdoing the carbs. And then it turns into months, and then it turns into years. And then all of a sudden you're going to get something like diabetes. But is that what I have to wait for? Do I have to wait for them to get diabetes before they wake up and be like, Dad, can I get some help? Because it's really hard for me to regulate what they're doing outside of the house, or when they go to family members' homes or visit, and then the never-ending birthday parties. I can't regulate that. I can't be that guy, that hovers over my children and just says, "Hey, stop it! Stop eating that. That's not healthy." And they get tired of hearing it too, I'm sure. Carnivore with Nadine says definitely not. I was thinking of your cats. Oh, yeah, we got cats over here. I got one laying in the chair right now. Let's see which one we got here. We're going to pull you all the way out, scare the crap out of you. How about that? There's my little buddy. This is my buddy. This is Dusty Bear. The girls call this one Baby Bear. But he's been a really good cat. Now here lately, these cats have been just surrounding me when I sleep. I'm not used to that. It's like I'll have one in my armpit. Gray Bear will be in my armpit. Dusty will be on the other side over here, and then my cat Molly will be down by my feet. It just seems kind of weird because and it's only at nighttime. Or maybe, well, if I go take a nap, yeah, they'll totally be hanging out there too. I am from Indonesia. Hey, I appreciate you dropping in there from Indonesia. Donna, hey, Donna, I appreciate you dropping in. My girlfriend, teenager, are so much crap junk food that she's got back up in her digestive tract. Ooh, and had so much poo buildup. So they just had to help clean her out. Ooh, that sounds absolutely horrible, Donna. Now, for me, when I started getting really backed up was when the doctors started telling me to eat more vegetables. That specific vegetables, like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and those are two vegetables that I used to like. It was broccoli and Brussels sprouts. They make me extremely gassy. They make me extremely bogged down and slowed, intestinal wise. So I was feeling full. I was feeling bloated. I was uncomfortable. I was cranky. I was hormonal when eating more broccoli and Brussels sprouts or asparagus. I used to like eating asparagus too. But the problem was is that fiber was binding me up. It was actually the plant fiber was creating constipation. Now you could debate or argue that in 12 different ways because my vegan friends they love to debate me on that topic. Like, well, you just weren't adjusted, just like your carnivore diet. You just weren't adjusted to it when you started carnivore. That's why you were having a problem digesting fruits and stuff like that. Point taken. I get it. So, but I like eating meats and fats, so it works for me. I mean, it works for my binge eating. If I binge eat on a bunch of just regular hamburger meat, I'm not doing that much damage. Yeah, I'm getting full, I'm getting satiated, and I'm able to stop eating when it doesn't taste good. I can stop now. If I eat fruits and I eat vegetables, I don't know when to stop. I'll just eat them to the point where, I'll almost explode. I eat so much at every time I sit down, just like with pizza. I didn't know when to stop eating pizza. It was constant struggle, just, you know, being upset about not having enough pizza in the house because there was never enough pizza in the house to satisfy me because I'd eat pizza and then I would wait a couple hours. I'd come back and I'd eat more pizza and then it's gone. And then I'm wishing I had more. So yeah, it was just kind of horrible. Let's see here. Happy birthday at Caution. Right on. All right. Somebody's having a birthday. Yeah, I'm going to be having a birthday later on this month. I'm not looking forward to turning the big 5-0. But as you can see, I'm not getting any younger. Distinguished, maybe. Some people call me annoying, but yeah, distinguished might be one of them. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Emerson. That's a horrible day. I remember when my dad passed away. And I wasn't even around. Now, my dad passed. I was here in Alaska. I can remember that exact moment when I found out the news. But I was lucky though. I got to talk to him when he was in the hospital, and we got to say our goodbyes. This was 3 days before he passed. I'm over here in Alaska. He was way back on the East Coast in a hospital, and I think it was Concord, New Hampshire, was the hospital he was in. But can't quote me on that. But we had a chance to say goodbye, and that was super helpful. But once he passed, I was out for just mentally zonked for 3 days. There was no fixing me. I mean, I was at work. I was working for Carlisle Transportation here, the ones that do the whole ice road trucker thing. But at that time, I was working a local job. So my job was tying down flatbed loads and basically hustling around town, moving trailers and getting loads from the Anchorage port and stuff like that. And I thought I was going to be fine. I really did. I thought I was going to be fine. And then as soon as I heard that he passed away and I was at work, I tried to go out on a dispatch. I couldn't focus at all. It was like there was this ball of energy just stuck in front of my eyes. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't see, straight. And, just the amount of grief that I was going through. It was tough to come back to the terminal and say, I'm sorry, I got to go home. I can't do this. And they understood. They sent me home with no problems. I mean, unlike some of the other companies I worked with, when we had a family situation, they didn't want to send me home. They wanted to keep me around and make me suffer through it. So I wound up losing that job. But yeah, I went home for 3 days. And at that time, I lived in Wasilla, which was about 49 miles away from where the terminal was. It was so hard getting home because I was doing like 45, 50 mile an hour. I couldn't stay focused, super emotional. I mean, it was a bad time. So I feel for you there, Emerson. Yeah, it's no fun when even a family pet passes away. Christine Morrison, hey, thank you for jumping in here. I appreciate you guys every single time you jump in the live stream. Yeah, we've been talking about, how we can try to better communicate with people, that are highly addicted to carbs and stuff like that. And I'm starting to come to the conclusion that we're not going to be able to, without sounding like badgers and just being totally annoying. Um, kind of like some of those crazy vegetable eaters that just try to, shame us for being unethical compared to their line of thinking. I mean, it's no fun. The whole back and forth. It doesn't make being friends with them fun anymore. Because they start saying stuff like that. So I'm guessing that, the carb addicted feel the same way. When we try to talk to them, but at times it's just helpful to, lay out the timeline as far as of, what unhealthy things they're eating, how frequently they're eating unhealthy foods. I mean, because a light bulb did go off in my son's head when I was explaining this to him. And I even asked him, I said, what diagnosis do you need, son? Before you get to that point where you have a diagnosis and it's irreversible, you're going to, at some point, you're looking at diabetes. At some point, you're looking at, being morbidly obese. You can barely move. That scares me. High school kids should never have to be forced into a situation like I was, at the age of like 45. I've been struggling with obesity for years, but being morbidly obese, seriously morbidly obese has been something that's, been the last, 15 years or so. And I don't want my son to have to go through the same struggles that I'm going through. It's just so hard. I am so sorry for your loss, Adam. Let's see, Frank Jensen, what videos do you post? Let's see, that's Frederick Jensen wanted to know what videos I post. I post mainly weight loss type videos. I do talk a lot about the carnivore journey that I'm on, my weight loss journey. I do weekly updates. So every Saturday, I'm usually filming an update video, or I'm trying to get a live stream in there. I'd like to do a lot of live streams. I do create some short content, around what I'm doing. And I really try to stay focused on just the whole weight loss, carnivore type eating and healthy type eating, because I'm not prejudiced against anybody that wants to lose weight a specific way, as long as they're figuring out what works for them. Because I've lost weight 120 different ways that didn't work for me, but they have worked for other people. Now, whether it's sustainable, that's the big question. So whatever your weight loss is, if it's not sustainable, it's really hard to justify that, hey, that worked, because things only work if you can do them, as a lifestyle change for the rest of your life. So that's another thing that I try to get on in there. Nice shirt. Hey, thank you. My wife got this for me. I believe she bought this up in Nome when she was up there visiting family, and it was pretty nice for her. I like it, but it kind of, sells the fact that, yeah, I'm from Alaska. I live here in Anchorage, Alaska. My husband and I just had a whole golden crab for dinner, just crab and butter. It was so good. Boy, I bet that was. That's a funny thing, is crab is so expensive. Even here in Alaska, we get it, they fish for it here. They pull it in all the time. It's just so expensive. It's just almost that one of those meals that's almost untouchable. And if you know anything about the northern coast of Russia, it's absolutely covered with king crab. I mean, there's so much there, they're having to call in people from all over the world just to come in and fish them out, because they're almost an invasive species. They're killing off all the other life. So yeah, there's a ton of, but they also have the ice up there to deal with too, just like we do here. So you got to get in there and get them when you can. Let's see, Frederick, keep going, man. I appreciate that. Brandon, best way to lose weight, calorie deficit. That's a big negative there, Brandon. That is just one of the ways to lose weight. The best way to lose weight is doing something that's sustainable. Now, I do a lot of fasting practices. That's not necessarily the best way to lose weight, but it is one of the best ways for restarting the metabolism. It's one of the best ways to figuring out some specific issues you might be suffering from, to also help curb specific addictions to food, for instance. So fasting is extremely helpful. I promote fasting. I have done numerous crazy types of fasts that most people look at me like, oh, you're nuts for even trying that. A 5-day water fast is pretty extreme. The longest I've ever fasted was for 5 days. I've also done multiple types of fasts that allow you to actually eat food. So I do 5 days of only eggs, and tremendous benefits with that type of fast. Lots of weight loss, talking from 7 to 14 pounds of weight loss, just eating eggs for 5 days, and then drinking lots of water and taking your electrolytes. Now, I did a similar fast with sardines for 5 days. That was a hard one. Just only sardines for 5 days was extremely tough. So I think I only made 4 of those days before I broke down and I actually slipped off that fast. But it was an adventure to try to figure it out. But I was only eating 1 can of sardines per meal. So I'd have 3 cans of sardines per day, plus a lot of water. And yeah, I think I dropped another, 7 to 14 pounds in that fast. But a 5-day water fast on day 1 of being morbidly obese at 435 pounds, a 5-day water fast dropped me 30 pounds in the first 5 days. So that works. But is that the type of weight loss you're looking to lose? Well, in my case, it was, because water weight or not, I wanted that weight off my bones. If I'm retaining that much water, up to 30 pounds of water, absolutely, I got to get that out of there. And anybody else that's going through the same situation is probably packing around at least 30 pounds of water, sometimes more. And it packs on everywhere. It's in your skull, it's in your arms, it's in your legs, it goes down to your feet. It makes it extremely painful to walk. I mean, if you're having a hard time walking on a hard surface without your shoes, yeah, you got some swelling, you got some inflammation going on down there. And a lot of that's caused from overly processed foods and a lot of high fructose corn syrup. I mean, we try to eliminate that stuff and it helps us tremendously. Let's see, what do we got? Eric, where are you from? I don't know, Eric. Hiking also works good. Hiking is a very good thing to do, but when you're morbidly obese, you got to keep this in mind. When you're over 350 pounds, anywhere up over that range, going hiking could actually injure you, which will slow you down even more. So you got to start out slow. So when I was 435 pounds, I started out extremely slow. I understood this, briefly. And then I jumped on the move more, eat less bandwagon. That does not work, by the way, when you're morbidly obese. So don't get wrapped into that nonsense. It does work at some point, but it's not going to work for somebody that's up over 400 pounds. I mean, because if you just start eating less and moving more, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to possibly injure yourself like I did. I mean, I was losing weight so fast that my feet, I was getting plantar fasciitis because my feet could not adjust to how fast I was losing weight. So the tendons in my feet were constantly screwed up. This was a painful situation, and it lasted for a good 2 or 3 months, it seems like. It's gone now. I mean, I'm down to about 300 pounds, and I don't have any more issues with plantar fasciitis. My feet are starting to heal up. They're adjusting to my new weight, which took a long time because everything, top down, we're talking from your head all the way down to your feet, is out of alignment when you're morbidly obese. And that's another thing that never gets talked about hardly ever, is that when you're struggling to sit down for, hours on end, or you're struggling to stand up for hours on end, or even lay in bed and you're in pain, everything's out of alignment, and it's all due to obesity. And it's really horribly painful. And for those people that are in good shape listening, bravo. Don't get to where I was. I don't want you to get to where I was. I don't want to share that experience with anybody, but I do want to share the experience of how the heck to get the other way. I want you to lose the weight. I want you to feel healthy. I want you to be able to do things in life that you want to do. Maybe get on YouTube, voice your opinion about your weight loss, share your experience so other people can understand how you're losing weight. Because that's the only way that I got to this point. If it wasn't for making videos on YouTube, I wouldn't be down to 300 pounds now. I'd still be 435 pounds. I'd probably be on my way up to 700 pounds, because I was just about stuck in bed. And if I didn't figure out, how to do fasting and how to, eat correctly, I would have still been eating the crap food and complaining about it. And I'd be in a wheelchair, stuck in bed, needing crutches or needing help, just trying to figure out how to live my life at all, because I was almost to the point where I felt like I didn't want to live my life anymore. That's how fat I was. And I know anybody else that's got up to that weight, we all share that same experience where we didn't want to live anymore. We're like, God, please help me, take me away. I don't want to hurt like this. And we're talking about the kind of pain, and it's just from obesity, so much pain, that most people would be, highly addicted to, opiates or some painkillers. Just nonsense. It's crazy. Let's see. ISO script. 47 years old. Yeah, I am almost turning 50 years old this month. I'm not looking forward to that. Hopefully that's not another mental hurdle for me, because there's been a lot of mental hurdles throughout this weight loss journey. Missing certain foods, having to finally wrap my head around the fact that I cannot eat another traditional slice of pizza for the rest of my life. That was something that took a long time for me to wrap my head around. Now I do have an emergency type pizza. I have a couple of them that I use. So if you're a pizza addict, you can use this too. Now they make these things called cauliflower crust pizzas. That's what I started out with, cauliflower crust pizza. It's a ketogenic type pizza. It gets rid of the traditional pizza dough, and you can make a lot of keto-friendly pizza crust. Now, another one that I made, it was a chicken crust pizza. That's a carnivore-friendly option, depending on what you put on there for the sauce. So if you're using tomato sauce, that's a little bit off the rails, but it's we don't hold that over people's heads in the carnivore community. Sometimes people are going to eat some vegetables. Sometimes they're going to have some tomato sauce. Sometimes people are going to, put a little bit of sauce on some of their meats, because some people can have a hard time eating meat without any sauce whatsoever. So some of the things I've been using is either keto-friendly options, or I just bat an eye at some of the sauces I use, like this new Tabasco sauce that I got out. I just got this, and I really like it. And where did it go? And who? How in the world? This is what happens when other people put the groceries away. So I got this product the other day, and it does have a skosh of sugar in it. This stuff works really well. Now, for starters, you are not drowning your food in this stuff. It's just a little bit. It's pretty spicy. At least for me, it is. I'm very sensitive to spices. But let's see. One serving is like a tablespoon or a teaspoon. Yeah, 1 teaspoon. There's less than a gram of sugar. So that's natural sugar. That's not high fructose nonsense. That's going to give you all kinds of problems. And the other ingredients in here, they really aren't that bad. The only thing if you guys know who Bobby Parrish is, he does Bobby approved items. Now, when you scan this item right here, it does not come up Bobby approved, and that's only because it contains natural sugar. So the amount of natural sugar that's in there is so minute, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't sweat it, because sometimes it's okay to have a little bit of natural sugar as long as you're not overdoing it with something like high fructose corn syrup. Now, Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, I was so disappointed. I was almost upset, because I loved Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Then when I found out, this is when I was learning, because learning how to lose weight requires you to flip the package around, and you're starting to learn how to read these labels right here. You're starting to figure out what each ingredient is, understanding where it comes from, how it affects the body. Is it in the right amount that really screws you up or not? And that's your own personal debate. It's not up to me to say, oh, don't eat that because it's bad for you. Well, if it has high fructose corn syrup, yeah, I will say, yeah, that's bad for you. Don't eat that. But if you eat it, that's up to you. But high fructose corn syrup sends us into a whole nother world of issues. And it's really hard to back away from that type of sweetness. But once you get the high fructose corn syrup out of your system for a long period of time, if somebody were to hand me a soda right now and I drank it thinking it was something else, I would spit it out. It doesn't, because it's so sweet. It's like when you were a baby or a young child and you first give them, a soda. And a lot of us have done that throughout the years. It's highly irresponsible, but a lot of parents have given their kids, soda pop right out of the can. And the baby's face is like, it's like eating a lemon. Yeah, don't do that to your children. It's a bad idea. Try to let them drink water. If you want them to drink fruit juices, fine, but that's still a lot of sugar in those fruit juices. So that's debatable too. Depending on where you want to be and what your goals are is what it all is. Old school open pit for the win. Let's see. Color terror. The food looks so good. Yeah, this would just happen to be something I was cooking here. I was making some chicken wings in the oven. Try to give you a better angle in, looking at the pieces that I was biting off of. But so far, yeah, these cooled down. And I season these two different ways. I was just experimenting. Everything I do in the kitchen is an experiment. I don't typically know how to cook very well, so it's just whatever. That's part of the fun of making videos too. You don't know what the heck you're doing until you put it all together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are good. Not bad. Gonna have to. Well, okay. What do we got going on in the comments? Yeah, they are pretty good there. You guys that I promoted to moderators here in the room, I really appreciate you guys. I mean, every time I see a message deleted or removed by who, and it says whoever did it, and so I know who's removing people for what, and I know that you have good judgment because we've been around each other long enough now, and it's super helpful because there's nothing worse than somebody coming in here and just spamming the heck out of these streams because it's just annoying. Now somebody did an option for subscribers only. Now I don't know how to set that up for subscribers only. I do have an option for members only, but I think I only have Christine Morrison as my only member to the channel. And that's fine. I mean, but the memberships are just something that helps promote the channel a little bit. It's definitely not something required. I haven't really focused too much on membership perks, but there are some that some people might think are cool or whatnot. So Ezekiel Sabahia, I am a big fan. Right on. Joined late. That's okay. I'm not done yet. We're still just working on it. What we're doing here. Yeah, I made some chicken wings, but that wasn't even part of the video. My main part of the video topic was trying to figure out why only vegetables make my poop a grayish clay color. I still haven't figured that out. And I'm still searching for the answers. So I'm going to have to be in contact with some other doctors and stuff like that to try to figure out the answer. But you never know who knows what, especially when you're doing a live stream, because sometimes there's somebody random that just might pop in and be like, oh, I know why that's happening. But my question is why is my poop turning only, a gray or a lightish color only when I'm eating vegetables? And it doesn't happen when I'm eating meats. Because normally when your poop turns that color, that means your bile ducts are clogged up, your pancreas isn't working right or something like that. Gallbladder issue, none of which I'm suffering from, by the way. I don't have any of those issues. I've had those tests done just recently, so all of that's working right. Now, before I started losing weight, I was diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver. The doctor seems to believe that's improved dramatically with the carnivore type eating that I've been doing, and the fact that I've actually been doing the diet. That was one of the key factors, is that I'm actually doing the diet. I'm not just getting out on stage and saying, hey everybody, you should eat this way, and I'm gonna pop open a can of biscuits in the next 5 minutes. That's not how any of this works. I mean, other carnivores have seen some of my videos and you're like, hey, he's actually doing it. You can tell the difference. There's like a glow that happens. It's almost like when you're overly hydrated. You start looking a different way. You start losing inches, especially around the waistline. Now, my wife could never hug me and touch her hands together for the longest time. I mean, it was a period of almost over a year where she couldn't touch her hands together when she was hugging me. And now she can almost touch her elbows. When today, for instance, before she left the house, she's like, where have you gone? It's like you're disappearing. You're just melting away. And I was like, yeah. And my weight's kind of just hovering around the same area, right around 300 pounds. It's like, what in the world? But a lot of that is because I don't get out and do vigorous type exercises. I have been getting out to walk more lately. So that's been helping a lot. It's also been helping, this crazy wackadoodle brain I got going on here, and helping with my anxiety and stuff like that. So yeah, getting outside, getting the fresh air, experiencing the world around you, similar to when you were, a kid that was like 5 or 6 years old, just looking at all the neat stuff and like looking down the gutters and, seeing what might be down there. That's stuff we used to do. And you can still do that when you're an adult. There's no reason you could not have to do that. Go to a park, just wander around, look in the oddball corners and hope you don't run into a homeless guy that's mad, because sometimes that happens here in Alaska because we got a lot of homeless right now. He's talking about health. My dude, yeah, that's pretty much what I talk about. I talk about health, weight loss, how I'm losing weight, for instance, and stuff like that. That's pretty much what we're doing here. Let's see. There's a pretty busy stream going on here. We got 50 people in the live stream. I have no idea who liked it so far because that number disappears after a certain point. But I appreciate you guys for hitting the like. If you're morbidly obese and you're suffering, yeah, I like to talk to those people, and I'm actually the one that will respond to you. Uh, After the video is posted, and you might want to tell me a little bit about your journey, or I could have some basic advice. Now, I don't give expert advice. I just give you advice from my opinion. Now, I had a viewer here last week that wanted to discuss fasting, and then they told me a little bit about themselves. And because I promote a lot of different type of fasting principles and practices that I do, and I had some great success with this one particular fast I did at that time. I believe it was a 5-day water fast. I'm not sure. I do so many different types of fasts. It's hard for me to keep track of what I do from week to week. But they said they were having some issues with blood sugar or something like that. And I was like, whoa, you need to slow down. You need to, before you even try to do a fast, if you're having issues with blood sugar, you're a current diabetic, find out if it's safe for you to fast or not. I don't go there. I can't tell people, hey, yeah, try this fast, because that's irresponsible. And I'm just honest as all get out, because if you got underlying health conditions that prevent you from fasting, get some expert advice from people that know these things. And there's a lot of people on the internet that do, fasting with diabetics and stuff like that. That's just not me. I was never a diabetic. It's one of the lovely things about my weight loss journey. Yeah, that's the hard part. When you're fasting and your blood sugar is just off the rails, because sometimes you can, some diabetics that I have talked to, they'll do a fast and their blood sugar will be amazing throughout the fast. It'll be perfect. And then as soon as they come out of the fast, as soon as they start eating anything at all, it doesn't matter if it's on the ketogenic plane, it could be anything. And then all of a sudden their blood sugar just, it's like, whoa, that's high, like out of nowhere. I mean, that's almost like your eyeballs roll in the back of your head and you fall asleep, kind of high blood sugar. Donna said, I am a type 2 diabetic and I monitor my blood glucose and ketones when I fast. So far, I've had no problems. That's awesome, Donna, because that's a scary plateau kind of plane to be on. It's when you're starting to mess around with blood sugars and stuff, because it just changes so fast. I mean, I've seen a diabetic have a like hardcore reaction right in front of me. And it's almost like they're severely dehydrated when they have a really bad sugar crash, and it's scary, because especially I didn't know what to do. I had no idea what was going on with them. The fact that they needed an insulin shot. So yeah, I was all new to that. How do you measure your ketones? Now they do sell Mad Saint Media. They do sell some ketone monitors. I have not messed around with those, mainly because all the research I've done on the majority of ketone monitors is that they're highly inaccurate. And I'm not a big fan of buying stuff that is highly inaccurate. I mean, if my meat thermometer was reviewed as it's not very accurate, it's going to be off by 10 degrees, yeah, I'd probably not want to purchase that either. So, but since there's enough research around certain specific things that I like to use, then yeah, I'll get it. Let's see, Christine Morrison, I have a monitor and it's crap. Oh, that's horrible, Christine. And that was a problem right off the bat, because they try to, so if you're new to weight loss, you're new to keto, because it all starts in a transition. A lot of us out here in the carnivore community and other weight loss communities all started with fasting. And it just seems to be how things step down to get to where they are. So they'll start out with fasting, then they'll start messing around with keto. Then they might take two different forks in the roads. You get, a ketovore type fork in the road. And then other people go more vegetarian or vegan. And, they try to figure out how to make that work for them on either one of the forks. So my particular choice was away from the vegetables, because vegetables were causing me issues. So I went to ketovore for a period of time. And the whole keto aspect of things is when you see things that say keto on the package, you really need to do your homework on keto principles and keto type eating, because if it says keto on the package, I automatically question it. I question anything, even if it says grass-fed, grain finished, or whatever. I question that too. Who's the guy policing it is what I want to know. That's the questions I have, because we've been lied to for so many years about products being heart healthy. Cheerios, Kellogg's, a lot of these cereals, Quaker Oats. I mean, I just found out that Quaker Oats here in the United States has a ton of freaking ingredients compared to the Quaker Oats that they have overseas, like in England or Germany. Their Quaker Oats are much more healthy. Even though they're not on the carnivore plane, they're healthier. Just like some of the basic staple ingredients that we have here and we share between the countries. Stuff like mayonnaise, stuff ketchup. Here in Alaska, they're full of high fructose corn syrup. You go next door to Canada, they're made with natural sugar. Big difference in health benefits when it comes to using natural sugar compared to high fructose super sweeteners. For one, it's just, if it says high fructose corn syrup, they're robbing you blind. And they're also creating a whole bunch of problems in your life because they're selling you a sugary sweetener at a very inexpensive price. And they're doing damage to your body when you consume these products. So why continue eating those things? Just because it tastes good? It doesn't taste good. It's so sweet you can't even taste it. I mean, that's how screwed up it is. And then you got some ding dong that working in a laboratory trying to adjust the sweetness, overtones and stuff like that. So it just triggers, an addictive response, and you're gonna want to have more and more and more. Let's see, who else we got? I got a lot of people in Maplefield. What's happening? Hey man, we're just talking about carnivore eating. We're talking about weight loss. We're talking about the struggles from being morbidly obese all the way down. I started out with some basic questions, trying to figure out how to communicate better with people that are severely carb addicted and people that they continue to wreck it every day. And it's just, and we're sitting here watching it. We're trying to regain our own health. There's a lot of people in the carnivore community. We're all within a similar age bracket for the most part. Now, some younger people are starting to get more involved with carnivore type eating, and they're having tremendous success. I mean, their acne is going away like that. Their anxiety is going away, high school type anxiety, high school type depression, high school type stress. It's all going away. And it's all going away for me too. I mean, I'm not seeing any acne going on. I used to get acne all the time, especially up here. I was having a problem there for a while, but a lot of that was because I wear a CPAP mask and it just kind of rides right here. And then I had some injuries on my nose because of the glasses I wear. So there was some skin breakage, but overall, my face it looks clear. And when I was eating the standard American diet, highly processed foods, a bunch of garbage and nonsense, seed oils, soybean oil, vegetable oil, and stuff like that, my face was always broke out. I always had pimples down here around my lips, stuff like that. I almost looked like I had cold sores at times. I don't have cold sores, by the way. But yeah, I'd get them just randomly. Chocolate was one of the things that used to spring those things on me all the time. Let's see. I cook with olive oil. I cook with olive oil and avocado oil. So if I'm pan frying eggs, I tend to use either bacon grease or I'll use avocado oil. And that works really well because sometimes if you get the pan a little too hot, avocado oil works really well for pretty high temperatures. Let's see. Hey there. What is that? Corrine Roca says hi. I just want to say hi. I'm Big John from Alaska. I like to give everybody a shout out as I can. Let's see. OG Savage says pray for him. I'm not sure who you're specifically talking about, but yes, that's always appreciated if you're talking about me or anybody else, because we could use all the prayers we can get. Because yeah, life's a struggle, and I think it's supposed to be a struggle. It's not supposed to be easy. But this is why we have each other, to hopefully help figure out our issues and make life a little bit easier. Can I have mod? I don't know what that means. Let's see. Is this information really true? Depends on what information you're talking about there. Let's see. Muhammad. Same can I have mod? I don't know what that is. Okay. Can you? No. Yeah, it looks like we're starting to get spammed. Let's see. 45 people in the stream. If you guys could just smash that like button before you leave. I'm probably going to cut this stream here. Let's see, unless something miraculous pops in. We did a food haul yesterday and got some Wagyu tallow. I can't wait to. Oh, Christine Morrison says they got some Wagyu tallow yesterday and can't wait to cook. I believe that's a good thing, and I appreciate the sub there, Karine Roca. OG Savage says, I am a fan of you. Can you please? They're moving pretty quick. Somebody said no. I am from Turkey. Hello from Turkey. I am from Anchorage, Alaska. That's a nice reach there. Zerdy, I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I botched it up, then I apologize, Zerdy. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that just randomly drops in here. But like I said, I am Big John from Alaska. I talk about my struggles with being morbidly obese and how I'm losing weight, the type of eating principles I'm using. I just try to be real. I'm not the kind of guy. I'm not paid to do this by any means. I just come out here and just say, the truth from how I see it, how I experience it. And I think that's what more people need to do. We need to get out here and share our experiences so other people can understand, wrap their minds around the whole thought of, weight loss and the possibilities, because I use so many different techniques, so many different strategies to try to get myself to lose weight. I mean, I learned something the hard way, that once we start adding in exercise, because I got the majority of this weight loss off. So about 130 pounds came off with little to no exercise. And that was using fasting and eating strategies all the way down to this point. Now I've been working with the carnivore way of life, carnivore eating. So I'm eating over 90% now. So I'm about 98% meats and fats. And then, this would probably fit in the last 2%, these little tiny add-ons here and there. Once in a while, there might be a bite of this or that, but I mainly indulge in just this stuff here, not necessarily chicken wings, but I like burger patties. I like eating steak. I do occasionally eat bacon from time to time. I thrive on eggs, sardines, oysters, and I got some oysters. I need to get those out too. They've been neglected since my last video that I did with oysters. Christine Morrison says, I am down 48 pounds in 6 months as of today. Congratulations, Christine. That's an amazing feat there. And healthy weight loss too. That's another thing. You don't want to lose like 10, 15, 20 pounds like week after week after week. So if I do a week's worth of fasting, then the next week I'll kind of just take it easy. Because I found out that early on in my weight loss journey, I was abusing fasting techniques. For one, fasting just forever is not sustainable for me. I couldn't just continue to fast and expect, because after a while your body just says, nope, we've gotten to a point where we're just going to stop losing weight. If anything, you might start gaining water, and then that screws your brain up, because once you start seeing those numbers on the scale go up, it starts messing you up. So this is why I also weigh on Saturdays, unless I'm a glutton for punishment throughout the week. I weigh on Saturdays. This last week I did a 36-hour fast. Now that one was fun. I actually enjoyed that one. The first day was hard, especially around dinner time, but I started that fast at 6 p.m. on Sunday, so I didn't eat all through Monday, and then my fast was over on Tuesday, and that was just the first day of the 36-hour fast that I did. And then I had a 12-hour eating window, which was normal, so I could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner until 6 p.m. And then the next day I did another fast, and then I had another 12-hour eating window, and then that rolled right on into the final fast, rolled right on into my weigh-in, and I lost a considerable amount of weight that week. So, and it was nice. So every day when I got done the fast, I weighed myself in the morning, and I was losing anywhere between 5 to about 5 pounds, and a lot of that's water weight. So, but you also have to consider that as soon as you get done a fast, and I think I explained this pretty well in the video, that you have to remember fasting weight loss is not rock solid weight loss, because a lot of the weight loss is going to be water weight. So the first time you eat a meal, you're going to start retaining a little bit of water. That's normal. That's healthy water retention at that point. So you might lose 5 pounds. Well, 3 of that might come back right away. So then you're going to have about a 2-pound weight loss. That's a pretty solid, weight loss there. That's a healthy weight loss for doing a specific type of fast. Let's see. Hello from Dublin, Ireland. Right on. Thank you for saying hi from Ireland. Yeah, I love this. So I don't know. I haven't been down to check my P.O. box. I don't know if anybody sent me a postcard yet, but I do have, if you click on my channel description, so you'd have to actually go to the YouTube channel by clicking on my icon. I don't have to, I'm not sitting here begging for subscribers to subscribe unless you're interested in the stuff I talk about. But I do like postcards from all around the world, all around the country. If you're doing your own weight loss type stuff, you can send me a postcard. You can send me something in the mail. I can talk about, possibly talk about some of this stuff in one of my upcoming videos, because I do like communicating with people. That was something I used to do with my father when I was a kid growing up, is he had a ham radio, and we'd sit down in the basement. We had one of these crazy antennas that used to stick off the top of the house, and we'd use the skip, and we'd talk all over the world. We had QSL cards from everywhere. It was just fun. We'd use sideband radio frequencies a lot, which was a lot of fun too. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Hi from New Orleans. Hey, appreciate you there. Thanks for jumping in. Okay, yeah. But anyways, guys, if you're suffering from being morbidly obese, or you're on the carnivore plane, yeah, I pray for everybody that's struggling. I struggle too a lot, and I just want everybody to, live happy and healthy, and hopefully start making some improvements in their life and not get to where I was, because being 435 pounds was miserable. And I just want everybody to live a better, healthier life. And if you are that way and you're trying to get down below, hopefully some of the information I have from time to time might help you out, or at least give you a little bit of encouragement and let you know that there's people like me out there. We do care about others. We want to share our journeys with others. We want to help each other along the way. And my chicken wings are getting cold, so we're going to have to fumble the buttons out of here. I appreciate you there, Amber, for reminding people to be respectful in the chat. But yeah, we're closing out this live stream, and yeah, I want to say thank you to all of you, especially the moderators as this community grows. I appreciate every single one of you, and you guys do an amazing job, helping me out. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm going to get a nap in here. We're going to be heading to work soon. But right on. Thank you.